Alright. This is West End Games' version of Star Wars the role-playing game, circa 1980 and 90s. This is the supplement called Crisis on Cloud City. High above the swirling gases of Bespin, desperate rebels struggle to unravel a mystery which could destroy the city in the clouds. This particular module came with the Sabak card game, and for whatever reason it's not with it. I took it out, and my friends and I back in the day played it quite a lot, and I don't know, it got misplaced or destroyed or thrown away or something, but I kind of wish it still had that because it would be an integral part of it, as you know. So, Crisis on Cloud City. In this adventure, the Rebel escort team is sent to the floating metropolis of Cloud City to protect Dr. Ison Lin, the creator of a remarkable new droid prototype called the XO X1. XO is a fantastic mechanical, is known as could be a valuable asset to the Alliance, but a dangerous weapon if it falls in the wrong hands. Upon their arrival to the City of the Clouds, the heroes discover that someone has killed the scientists they seek, stolen this valuable creation. Framed for the murder themselves, the rebels have no choice but to find the murderer and the prototype in order to clear their names and salvage what is left of their original mission. Along the way, they become entangled in a perplexing mystery involving underground thugs, renegade droids, and an Imperial agent. Traveling from elegant casinos to the seedy underside of the floating city, the rebels slowly piece together the clues that paint a bizarre and complicated story. They find that Dr. Breen, the assistant of the scientist they were sent to find, took the droid prototype for his own selfish ends. In the hope of impressing an Imperial agent whom he invited to witness a demonstration, Breen stole the X1. Then, in an effort to put the droid's incredible abilities to work, he hooked the machine up to the city's computer core and programmed it to convert the peaceful floating metropolis into a giant weapons platform. But in its quest to carry out the programming as efficiently as possible, XO interpreted the command in its own hideous way. Now the twisted machine is taking complete control of the city, while at the same time plotting to upgrade Cloud City's human population into a society of droids loyal only to itself. Can the rebels figure out the maniacal droid's plan, track it to its deadly lair, and prevent it from killing every living being on Cloud City? This is the challenge that must be faced in Crisis on Cloud City. So, we understand what the basis of the concept for the module is. Gives you a little bit on how to run a mystery. It's not something I'm overly fond of running, but I don't have a huge amount of experience at running mysteries. But yes, what you want, Frankie? Yes, hey, Frankie. Yeah, this is Frankie, our rescue cat. Yes, and a rescue cat with the googly eye and squirmy. Yes, you're squirmy. She don't like being held. It is what it is. So, adventure background. Standards. Years ago, Dr. Ison Lin, most renowned droid specialist in the galaxy, arrived in Cloud City, set up a laboratory, and began work on his new droid series called the X1. Primary design objective to the X1 series was to make it capable of single-handedly controlling a complex, multifaceted system such as those found on space stations and starships, tasks far beyond the capability of previous droid technology. The initial tests of the new programming exceeded Lin's wildest dreams. The droid's brain was so advanced that when hooked up to a mechanical construct, it would not only take control but began to redesign, modify, even rebuild the construct to increase its overall efficiency. Prospects for such a droid were far beyond Lin's original conception. So you get the idea. And in theory, this could be another boogeyman kind of, Terminator sort of thing. This is I would quantify it as a super droid to a certain aspect with a lack of normal restraints that are placed on droids or robots in general. It has no hesitation when it comes to interpreting things as it chooses, and in this case potentially redesigning organic life to be robotic and to be subservient, which using nanotechnology and things like that, which do exist in the Star Wars universe, would not be outside the realm of a possible scenario. Potential threat to everyone. Rebellion, or the Alliance, the Imperials, everyone. So, in recent events, as the work on EXO near completion, Lynn and Vereen each sent out an invitation for demonstrating the prototype. Lynn sent a whole message to his good friend Walex Blissex. Lynn knew could design a ship that would be able to perform construction on itself in response to the X-1's droid commands. He also asked Blissex to arrange for the Rebel Alliance to protect the new droid, for the scientists knew that if the machine fell into the wrong hands, it would become a powerful tool for evil. Same time, Breen secretly contracted Lyra Blissex, Breen's daughter, or Walex's daughter, and invited her to come to Cloud City on the behalf of the Empire. Venture synopsis. Venture begins with the rebels escorting Walex Blissex to his trip to Cloud City. Their primary responsibility is safety of Blissex, but they also have orders to protect Dr. Lin and his new droid prototype. As they arrive, EXO sends several of its droid servants to destroy them. The rebels must fight their way through the dangerous mechanicals to get to Lin's lab, delayed by the attacks. The rebels arrive too late to find Lin murdered, the EXO X1 prototype stolen. Before the heroes have a chance to do anything, Lando Calrissian shows up and orders them to find the killer or be arrested for the murder of Dr. Lin. So obviously this is supposed to take place prior to the events in you know what I'm talking about, damn it. Yeah. And I'm having an old moment, an old man fart moment. New Hope, movie number 2, damn it. Jeez. Before Lando was involved in the Alliance. Main NPCs: Walex Blissex, EXO X1, Lyra Wessex, Dr. Vereen, Lando Calrissian, Lobot. Imagine even would say that somewhere. It's almost a shame to not be able to remember it right off. It's a memory issue thing. I know the damn movie. It's a critical movie, for Christ's sake. Proposal, episode 1 is the arrival. So basically the NPCs show up with the player characters show up with their critical NPC in tow and begin to try to figure out what's going on, and they're attacked almost right away by a series of robots that were not your normal type of assassin type machines. So you get your welcoming committee. Says here, read aloud. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Dr. Walex Blissex, the designer of the Victory-class Star Destroyer and now a respected member of the Rebel Alliance, received a cryptic message. It was from his old friend Dr. Ison Lin, one of the most renowned droid scientists in the galaxy. In his brief communique, Lin stated he and his assistant, Dr. Breen, had recently finished building the prototype of a fantastic droid that could greatly aid the rebellion in a struggle against the Empire. Because of the new droid's amazing abilities, Dr. Lin feared it might happen if this powerful creation were to fall into the hands of the Empire. And so, without delay, the Alliance dispatched a group of rebel agents to escort Blissex to Cloud City to find his project and Dr. Lin's new creation. Now, gliding peacefully through spectacular cloud-filled city of Bespin, the rebels spot a floating metropolis of Cloud City and make final preparations for docking. If you think about it for a moment, and it's my habit of doing that, thinking about things, the implications in canon or in the story. First off, I can think of a number of starships, large warship, capital class ships that are just people extensive. They take so many people, so many droids to operate that the rebellion can't really operate them well. The old Republic dreadnoughts come to mind. Star Destroyers are another example of that, the massive amount of people it takes to keep these things functioning. If you had an aware droid that has full access to the facilities of the entire vessel and could alter and modify the robotics and droids to take over everything, the majority of the tasks needed to keep the vessel running and at optimum efficiency, you could vastly reduce the need for organic components within the command structure, assuming the droid itself does not decide that they don't require your assistance in operating the ship, as including the command functions. Another possible segue is if you go, we're talking, legends now, the World Devastators, for example, that the Reborn Emperor and the Resurgent Empire manages to construct and send out and target Mon Calamari and a few other places. The idea is they're basically roving forges of destruction with industrial capacity built in and robotically. The majority of it's robotically and automated. So these machines take the raw materials that they suck up from a planet and kick out machines of war, materials of war. So potentially that this kind of droid might have got the Empire might have got their hands on it anyway, or at least the blueprints to build one, and altered it enough to get the World Devastator command core functionability. Right? That's just two possible scenarios or outcomes that we could see, making this item very valuable to whomever gets their hands on it. So we get in. So rebel ships get within close range of any cloud car that has a decent view of the battle. Make a moderate protester notice that the piloting attack craft is a silver protocol droid. So before you even land, you're attacked by 4 twin pod cloud cars, and they're piloted by protocol droids, which in and of itself is no, right? They're definitely something that, right? You manage to survive this and land. When all the cloud cars have been destroyed, your ship's calmly crackles to life as you receive dopping instructions from Cloud City's traffic control tower. Permission granted to land on platform 643. Do not deviate, blah, blah, blah. Controller knows nothing of the attack that took place, and so if questioned, he has no information for the players. If the players attempt to land somewhere other than platform 643, have the traffic controller inform them that deviation from the flight plan can lead to fines and imprisonment. Platform 643, somewhere designed to the one used by the Millennium Falcon and The Empire Strikes Back. Jeez, I'm getting old. Kind of sucks. It's hard not to want to ramble off on tangents too there, my friends. It is part of who I am. Rebels may not wonder how the droids in this episode knew how to attack them, but they do get curious, but think on the message screen gave an answer. Moderate technology role alerts the rebels to the fact that because it had been sent some time ago, the message may have been traced. After reading the note, Blissex becomes quite agitated. My friends, it seems we may have arrived too late. Please let me know where the lab is. Let us leave for it at once. So you head off for the lab and you're ambushed once again. And when the rebels exit their ship, a warm breeze washes over you as you walk onto the landing platform. Around you stand the spires and towers of Cloud City, now colored deep red by the glorious Bespin sunset. A walkway leads to the landing platform to a door set into the top of a large round tower 40 meters away. And ask the rebels for difficult perceptions. 6 FT is a registered security droid in one Binep Labs. 16 of Binep droids were the first to be taken over by EXO. As the rebels spot him, 60 open fires immediately. Rebels fail to notice him. The droid waits until the rebels are 20 meters across the walkway A before firing. Walkway A. There's our security droid. Continue the building's door discovers locked thanks to EXO to moderate security roles. So meanwhile, you gotta try to unlock the door to get out of the well open area of fire while this thing's trying to kill you. Mystery murder. The rebels race to the door of the lab. A droid controlled by EXO is about to kill Lin with a blaster pistol. Characters, however, don't know this. They only hear what is happening behind the lab's locked door. Behind the closed door of the lab, you hear a man cry out, "No, what are you?" And please. The man pleas are suddenly broken by the snap of 3 blaster bolts, followed by heavy silence. Once again, the door is locked, and you got to get in. Try to find Lin's data pad. You search the lab. Rebels quickly determined that although the droid has been deactivated, its systems are still functional. This should lead them to F-3PO. Chest restraining bolt marked property of Binep Labs. Rebels switch the droid on, fails about, startled, and cries out, "Oh my, well, I'm glad that's over. Oh dear, where am I? Who are you people? What is this place?" If the rebels question, F3PO explains that the last thing he remembers is working on the reception area of the lab. Cannot determine just exactly what took place. Takes a moderate droid programming roll. And the droid says, "Oh," says the droid, "so yes, I can see something now, but it is very indistinct, black tentacles of some kind coming toward me. There are hundreds of them, spreading out, growing in number more and more, and now I see a bite. No, it's too terrible. Please stop it, turn me off. I cannot bear it too." And the droid suddenly shuts itself off. Blackmail. After the characters had a chance to search the lab, they discover it's Crises and an unexpected guest arrives. Suddenly you hear the clatter of boots by the lab's door. A dozen blue-clad wing guards, Cloud City security officers, rush into the room with blast missiles drawn. Men are led by two figures you recognize from Alliance holowreckers. The first staring silently at you is Lobot, the city's computer liaison officer. Beside him stands City Administrator Lando Calrissian. "I hope you had a very good explanation for this," he says grimly. And then after the rebels do their spiel, he puts them on the spot. We'll get basics for Lobot there. Episode 2, in the cards. Episode's opening, rebels visit Bionab Labs where, without their realizing it, Exo secretly sends them out to find Lyra Wessex and at the Royal Casino. The casino, they play the intriguing game of Sabak with several non-player characters who know Dr. Breen. Credits information exchanged on Exo, who has carefully arranged for all of his top priority targets to be in the same plane, launches a desperate assault to kill everybody. So, what the rebels learn in this episode, rebels learn 1, Lyra Wessex is in Cloud City. Lyra is on Cloud City to meet Dr. Breen. Lyra doesn't know where Breen is. Several months ago, an alien named Helm Zakher stole the plans for 7 card keys from a company called Securico, and 5 of the stolen cards were given to a forger so copies of the keys could be made. Helm knows Breen. 7, Dr. Breen is currently buying at Labs. The only red herring is that Exo throws out this episode is F3PO was sold to Lyra Wessex by Bynep. Exo has the reception droid at Bynep say this is so suspicious and will shift to Bynep from Bynep to Lyra. You get a cool reception. Now so they're going to Bynep Labs. The end of episode 1. Read cut to exterior Bynep Labs. Where you have a pair of black metal doors with the word Bynep Laboratories written in silver letters. As you approach the door, slide open, reveal a spacious reception area. Sitting in the center of the room is a reception droid. The droid's humanoid shape from the waist up is actually built into the desk it works at. "Greetings and welcome to Bynep Labs," the droid says with practiced peppiness. "If there's any way I may assist you, please ask and I'll do my utmost to help." Why, hello F3PO, what are you doing back here? So I don't know, the protocol droid says with great despair. I don't even know how I left. The reception droid points its finger at the puzzled F3PO. "Well, your new owner's frantic." Alright. Games to skill. Royal Casino layout. You stand at broad landing stairs leading down to the casino's first floor. Below us, as far as you can see, gamblers are busy risking credits in more ways than you imagine. Sounds of a lavish hall, or excitement, suspense, triumph, and anguish fill the lavish halls. New rivals rush past you, full of expectation. Those who have suffered heavy losses walk slowly up the stairs and out of the doors, making sure to meet no one's gaze. The ace of coins, running a Sabbath game. If I had the game, idiots array. It says, and Lando, of course, is here to play. Lando deals the first hand. Ace of coins. The old man is actually Lando, but disguised with a white hair, bushy eyebrows, and a gray beard down to his chest that all combine to make him look almost unrecognizable. Of course, card key in the lock boxes. So basically, we're working our way, playing the game while fishing out various bits and clues that we need to have to order for the players to continue to figure out what's going away. Cut away to Lyra Wessex. Episode 3, Return to Bionep. In this episode, the rebels return to Bionic Laboratories only to discover that the droids have sealed the entrances to the complex. Fighting their way past the droid guards, they find Dr. Brain, now part man and part metal, a victim of Exo's evolution droids. Although the rebels receive a great deal of information from Brain, including the means of destroying Exo, things quickly get worse as Exo takes control of the city's life support systems and plunges the metropolis into darkness. What the rebels learn. In this episode, rebels learn that 1. Breen was somehow responsible for the crisis but no longer in charge of the situation. 2. Exo is now calling the shots. 3. Exo had Breen built a microscopic droid virus called evolution droids that transforms flesh to metal. 4. Exo is in control of the city's life support system. Imagine the implications. 5. The rebels have a means of destroying Exo if they can find it. 6. Finding Exo depends on getting to a forger called Bellum, who owns the shop in Port Town. And then while they're there, the assault on Bayonet. The company's double doors are open automatically. Rebels approach the doors at this time. Exo is short of the door systems. Exo's armed the reception droid behind the door with a tri-mounted blaster cannon. Doors are part of the droid open fire as the rebels actively try to guard against the ambushes. Behind the door, they have a moderate perception roll. Infiltration. Then we have adventure script. Use the following script to start your adventure. Games tell you what parts to read. Binup's computer screen. Message network. Dr. Lynn's datapad, data entry 782, personality construct becoming more of a problem. Must speak to Breen about this and entry. Cloud City AdNet, access store, ad number, blah blah blah. Security a problem, locked out of someplace important, too many doors closing in your face. Then come see me, Bellum's keys and copies, Port Town. Alright, so we got our bio for Walex Blissex, Lyra Wessex, Helm Esracker, Dr. Breen, Lando Claristine, of course. Bellum the Forger, 60DP, the security droid, and Exo X1, the prime villain of our little melodrama. The prisoners. The Bionic staff members are not used to build the evolution droids are currently being held in the cafeteria. Exo rigged the door with a powerful electronic charge so no one can pass it or pass it without a proper code sequence. As you glance the right corridor, you see a pair of doors marked cafeteria. Your eye is caught by a shadow moving behind the glass of one of the door's windows. If the rebels try the door, the first one who touches it receives a severe electrical shock, 5D damage. Yes, just clarify that was a WEG or West End Games version. It was is a die 6 system. So in this case, 5d6 damage. The room is full of frightened scientists and lab technicians. One of the scientists says in a hurried voice, "Please, our droids took some staff of the labs. We haven't seen them for hours. The droids are mad. They locked us in here after forcing Breen to pick a scientist at blaster point. He chose 5. When he asked him what was going on, he wouldn't tell us. The staff must still be in the labs. You must help them." So, being good rebels that you are, your pair of characters would rush off to the labs. At the end of the corridor, they reach the lab and it says, "Behind the transparent steel window of the corridor's only lit lab station, you see the bodies of a half-dozen scientists laying motionless on the floor. With sickening flash, you realize the bodies have been strangely altered. They're not fully made of flesh, but are partially machine. Think the Borg." Yeah, potentially, yeah, the Borg. They are not fully made of flesh, but they are partially machine. One body's half right, half is a shiny silver. The other's human limbs are set in a mechanical swivel socket. The third has lenses for eyes. What the rebels are looking at are results of Exo's evolution droids. Smooth the voice of Destiny brought out his own downfall in a manner. The man on the table is still breathes, but his silver tinted skin is smooth and solid. You can see the joints in his fingers are now held together with small bolts that a droid neck mount holds his head in place. Yellow lights flicker dimly in his eyes, and his mouth moves, but the words are distorted and synthesized. "My name is Dr. Reed. I did something very wrong, but I cannot remember what it is anymore. Exo is going to do something to the city. I have to stop it. Please, you must help me." Questioning Breen reveals the following information. Breen bought Exo somewhere, but he no longer remembers where. place ends in a series of corridors, and the corridors are blocked by 7 locks. He needed the help of a gold-skinned alien and a black-haired woman to get past the locks, but he can't remember their names. XO tortured him and forced him to make a new type of droid called an evolution droid. These microscopic droids create viruses, turn flesh to metal. That scientists in the lab were experimenting on to test it. Breen was forced to test the last batch on himself. Some droids took a canister of the evolution droids out of the lab, but Breen doesn't know where they went. XO's controlling the droids, but Breen can't remember how. Alright. Clues. The virus trap. Which, kind of was obvious. You could see it coming, that our bad guy here has got bad droids that he's going to release into the environmental system and turn the entire station's population into machines. Which in part would allow him to follow the mandates and fulfill the mandates of his purpose. Exposure to the virus, the canister, the forger. Before you use a small shop, 4 glow rods are propped up in each corner, providing makeshift illumination. The shop is in shambles. Tools and parts are scattered about the floor. Drawers and cabinets are hanging open. That woman in short black hair looks at you from behind the table in the room's center. "I hope you don't mind a mess," she says while picking up some computer disks. "I had a visitor while I was out and I haven't finished cleaning up yet." Breen, whom you may have noticed is losing more and more of his former features as the microscopic droids continue rebuilding him, steps towards Bellum. Do I know you?" he asks her with his haunting semi-electronic voice. "I think I know you." "I don't think so," Bellum replies. She turned to the rest of you. "Is this droid alright?" Cold boxes. In order to protect computer data from computer slicers, many people use what is known as a cold box. The cold box is a high-density computer data storage unit connected only to a computer terminal. This means the data cannot be stolen from an outside source. The disadvantage of a cold box is the box must be physically present to access any information from it. A clumsy clue. Suddenly becoming animated, Breen declares we can find XL using the serial numbers of the locks. Each lockbox has a serial number that matches each key. By following the serial numbers on the lock boxes, we can retrace the path I took since I needed to get past each box to go wherever I was going. All we need are the serial numbers. "That's fine," says Bellum, "but my cold box is gone and I don't know who took it." Droid tracked down Bellum and killed her for excellence, so somebody kills the locksmith. Nice. Unexpected help. Gunpoint in the erratic orbit. Doors open. You are momentarily blinded by a rose-colored light of Bessen's glaring sunrise pouring out of the large hangar bay door. As your eyes readjust, you see Lara Wessex, Helm R. S-Wrecker, and a group of rough-looking characters turn and stare at you. The group is standing next to an old light freighter about 100 meters away. You see Lara whisper something, and the criminals immediately drop prone and begin firing on you. Scenic route. Though she hangs above certain death, Lara smiles up at you. She's had you exactly where she wants you. "I entered the serial numbers of Reen's cards into my biocomputer implant," she says, rising her voice above the sound of the wind. "I don't think I will be needing this anymore." Before you have any time to act, Lara swings her arm back and tosses the data box out over the gas giant's clouds. Small box plummets silently out of sight. "I suggest we work together. You need my memory and I need your muscle. What do you say?" The rebels have little choice, unless of course you got a force user available. Pluck that falling box, computer box, and bring it right back. The journey begins. Episode 5, Core Quest. So what we've established is we now know that XO has been taken to the computer core of Bestman, Cloud City, and it's been plugged in, and his nanobots have been delivered, and he's going to release them into the ventilation system, or into the environmental systems, in order to infect as much of the population as possible. Now the rebels know this. They need to get there and to prevent this from happening and disconnect XO or destroy it. Shocking surprise. There's a carbon freeze chamber, air shaft. Can't have an adventure on Cloud City, not involve carbon freeze chamber. Episode 6, Crisis on Cloud City. Rebels must get past XO's last line of defense before reaching the computer core. They're working only minutes spare before the evolution droids are released into the air circulation system. Now it's a race against time. Pretty much confronting the bad guy himself. The computer core is a huge white chamber rising 150 meters above you. Blinking lights, monitors, computer monitors, and a plethora of video monitors line the walls. The video screens show many views of the city, and with its habits gathered in plazas and casinos, glow rods illuminate their frightened faces. There are 6 computer workstations, different heights up the wall. Each has a 2-meter wide ledge beneath it. Off to the right, you see three of the virus canisters lining the walls. In the center of the room, 2 small repulsor skiffs used for reaching the elevated workstations. On the far side of the chamber, you spot the computer core's control console. An interesting battlefield scenario there. Final gambit, pulling the plug. It ain't over yet. Note about big finishes. One of the things that the droid does is pulls the plug on the anti-grav, causing the Cloud City to start to drop. And then you fix that problem, and you feel your legs give slightly as the metropolis begins to rise to its former altitude. Around you, the screen now shows citizen guests of Cloud City to pick them up off and help with the wounded. Behind you, hear the chilling chuckle, or Wessex, if you would all be so kind as to drop your weapons. Well, of course, right? And then we have the anticlimax. So, Crisis on Cloud City. Will you be the one to save the metropolis?